Before the chicken, before the dinosaur, before the first creature crawled out of the sea, there was the egg. A perfect, self-contained little world. A promise of life sealed in a fragile shell. We see them every day in cartons at the grocery store, sizzling in a pan, or decorated for a holiday. But this simple, humble object holds a story that spans hundreds of millions of years, a story of evolution, survival, culture, and civilization itself. Today, we're cracking open that story. The journey of an egg, the kind you might have had for breakfast, is a masterpiece of biological engineering. It all begins inside a hen, a tiny marvel of nature. A hen is born with thousands of potential eggs called OVA stored in her ovary. As she matures, these OVA begin to develop, one by one. The process starts with the yolk. This golden orb, rich in fats and vitamins, is the primary food source for the future chick. It's essentially the packed lunch for the embryo's long journey. Once the yolk is fully formed, it's released from the ovary in a process called ovulation. It then embarks on a remarkable trip down a tube called the oviduct, which is about 25 inches long. This is where the magic really happens. As the yolk travels, it's like it's on a biological assembly line. First, it enters a section called the magnum. Here, it's wrapped in layers of albumin. The albumin isn't just one uniform liquid. It has thick and thin layers designed to cushion the delicate yolk and provide protein for the growing embryo. You can actually see this when you crack a fresh egg, the thick white that clings to the yolk and the thinner white that spreads out. As our proto-egg continues its journey, it gets twisted and turned, forming two stringy rope-like structures called the chalazae. These little anchors are incredible. They attach the yolk to the lining membrane of the egg, keeping it perfectly suspended in the center of the albumin, protecting it from any shocks or bumps from the outside world. Next up, the egg receives its shell membrane's two thin, paper-like layers that provide an extra barrier against bacteria. Then, it arrives at the most crucial stage, the shell gland, or the uterus. Here, the egg will spend the next 20 hours. Liquid calcium carbonate, drawn from the hen's own bones if her diet is lacking, is slowly deposited onto the membranes. It crystallizes, layer by layer, forming a strong protective shell dotted with thousands of microscopic pores. These pores are vital, allowing the embryo to breathe, taking in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. Just before the egg is laid, the hen adds a final, thin, waxy layer called the bloom, or cuticle. This seals the pores to prevent bacteria from getting in while still allowing air to pass through. The entire process, from ovulation to laying, takes about 25 hours. It's an intricate, perfectly timed dance of biology, repeated day after day. But the egg isn't just a biological wonder, it's a cultural titan. For ancient civilizations, the egg was a powerful symbol. The Orphic egg of Greek mythology, the golden Hiranyagarbha of Vedic tradition, these weren't just breakfast items. They were cosmic eggs, containing the entire universe. The Egyptians, the Phoenicians, the Persians, they all saw the egg as a symbol of rebirth, of spring, of life conquering the darkness of winter. This is why we still see eggs associated with spring festivals today, like Easter. Decorating eggs is a tradition that goes back thousands of years, a way to celebrate this powerful symbol of new beginnings. Our relationship with the egg as food is just as ancient. Humans have been opportunistic egg collectors for as long as we've been around. Imagine our ancestors carefully raiding the nests of wild birds, securing a nutrient-dense, perfectly packaged meal. It was a high-risk, high-reward activity. You had to find the nest, deal with the protective parents, and get the fragile prize home in one piece. For early humans, an egg was a treasure trove of protein and fat, a vital source of energy. But the real game changer was domestication. Around 8,000 years ago, somewhere in Southeast Asia, humans began domesticating the red jungle fowl. The wild ancestor of our modern chicken. Initially, they weren't raised for their meat or even their eggs. They were prized for cockfighting and their crowing, which was seen as a solar alarm clock. But as these birds spread along trade routes from Asia to the Middle East and into Europe, people quickly realized their potential as a consistent food source. The Romans were particularly fond of eggs. They had specialized chicken breeds and developed techniques for preserving eggs. When hens weren't laying, they would eat them at the start of a meal, believing it would stimulate the appetite. The phrase ab ovo usque ad mala, meaning from the egg to the apples, signified a full-course meal from beginning to end. The egg was already cementing its place in our daily lives. Through the Middle Ages, the egg remained a staple, especially for the poor. It was an affordable and accessible source of protein. During Lent, when meat was forbidden, eggs were a crucial part of the diet, at least until later restrictions forbade them as well. This led to the tradition of hard-boiling eggs before Lent began so they wouldn't go to waste, which further tied them to the Easter celebrations that followed. But here is something to think about. The eggs our ancestors ate were very different from what we eat today. The chickens were scrawnier, and they laid far fewer eggs, maybe a dozen or two a year, mostly in the spring. Today, commercial laying hen is a product of intense selective breeding that began in the 19th and 20th centuries. We wanted more eggs, bigger eggs, and we wanted them year-round. So we bred birds that could lay an egg almost every single day, over 300 a year. This industrialization changed everything. Suddenly, eggs were no longer a seasonal treat, but an everyday commodity. Technology like refrigeration and large-scale, climate-controlled hen houses meant that eggs could be produced, stored, and shipped anywhere, anytime. They became cheaper and more abundant than ever before. This transformed breakfast tables around the world. The classic full English breakfast, or the American bacon and eggs, wouldn't be possible without this massive shift in production. And just as the egg itself evolved, so did our ways of cooking it. Think about the sheer versatility. You can boil it, fry it, poach it, scramble it, or bake it into a cake. It can be the star of the show, like in an omelet, or a crucial supporting actor, binding meatballs, emulsifying mayonnaise, or giving a golden sheen to pastries. Every culture has its own iconic egg dish, from Japan's savory tamagoyaki to Spain's hearty tortilla española, from Tunisia's spicy shakshuka to China's ancient century egg. It's a universal ingredient that speaks 1,000 different culinary languages. The journey of the egg is, in many ways, the journey of humanity. It's a story of survival, of innovation, of culture, and of our deep, unbreakable connection to the natural world. From a symbol of cosmic creation to a staple of the modern diet, the egg has been with us every step of the way. It has nourished our bodies, fired our imaginations, and built civilizations on its simple, perfect promise of life. It's more than just food. It's a small, smooth, oval-shaped piece of history. The next time you crack one open, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey it took to get to your plate. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of the egg. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to explore more incredible stories hidden in everyday objects, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.